Ember, 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 we're gonna light up the fire.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Ember Sessions. We're here again, and we are the Fireplace Collective. We have Jia Hao here, and Pris here, and we have a very special guest, and we have Cyril in the house.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so you can introduce yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? What do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm Cyril, and I come from Singapore, and born and raised here, of course. What I do is I just write songs. I love worshiping God, and yeah, that's about me.
Nice.
All right,
So
thank
simple.
you. Yeah.
I love that.
Keep it simple.
Minimalist, you know?
Yeah.
It's a new thing, you know?
He doesn't sleep, doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Write songs.
Just write songs.
It's kind of true.
True artist.
It's a starving artist. No,
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, so we're just going to be doing a few songs today. I think maybe I'll start with my song. So this song is called Daily. So for me, I've been doing music for about 10 years. But then when I came to know God, actually, I had a struggle with writing songs. And I think I had this huge difficulty, because every time I tried to write a song, trying to make it a worship song, it just came out as a love song. Or it came out as the words didn't come to me, and I was like, oh, is this like theologically sound? And that's where I realized that I really needed to be fed,
Right.
and I needed to study. So for 2 years, I was just on a song drought. Never wrote a song at all. And then when I was in Bible college in Perth, I was just studying there for one day, and then this lady came up to me and she gave me this song. She had it from a dream, and she was just looking for a musician to write the song like. And so when she gave me that song, I made the chords for it. I sang my own tune to it, and that opened up something. And on that same day itself, I remember I was in my room. And I was just playing these chords, these two chords, and straight away, suddenly, it's like a floodgate that opened up. It was like a, and I could feel like water gushing through this floodgate, and suddenly I just could write songs. I could write songs this song Daily, it's about living my life daily as worship, more than just the singing, but in the walking and the talking and the living it out. And I wanted it to be the outpour into my songs, so yeah, I'm gonna play this song.
So good.
This is Daily.
Come on.
Yeah. Daily. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will praise you in the morning, sing into the evening sun. Well, my heart is made for worship. To the heavens I will sing out now. You're my king and my creator. All creation sings your praise out loud. In your kingdom there is freedom. I will worship you with all my heart. I worship you with all my heart. Like the ocean, your love runs deep, ever present, never fail me now. I can never understand it. Oh, how you love me now. In my weakness, you were shining. Like a fire, set me up ablaze. Now the cloud that goes before me, the one who knows me by my name. The one who calls me by my name. And holy, holy God Almighty, I'll give you all my life as worship. And holy, holy God Almighty, I'll give you all my life as worship. All my life,
My life is worship, and daily, daily I give, and daily, daily I give. To you I worship. Oh, daily, daily I give, and daily, daily I give. To you I worship. Oh, daily, daily I give, and daily, daily I give. To you I worship. Oh, daily, daily I give, and daily, daily I give. To you I worship.
Yeah, that was daily.
Nice.
Is that your signature ending?
Yeah, so far there's only 2 episodes, so
It's gonna be a thing.
It feels like so chill.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of like a reflection of like worship to God. At times we do feel like it has to be like super intense or like really like men in the holy presence and all face flat and stuff like that. But this reminds me so much of a God that just wants to be with us, you know, to be close to us, to walk with us through life. Yeah.
Right.
And as you're singing it, like it just really reminds me of like this God that is like so present with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think one of the feelings that I was like trying to hold on to during this whole song was that tenderness. Like I feel like his tenderness, like being in his presence, there's this tenderness, and also sometimes the tenderness is like very emotional and we're crying and everything. But I think sometimes that tenderness is also very gentle, and it's almost like very like uplifting as well. After that stage of realizing who you are in his eyes, you know. Yeah, so that was kind of like the feel that I was holding on to.
So good.
Yeah, song. Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's the song Daily. Hope you guys like it. And now we're gonna move on to Jia Hao.
Hey.
Yeah. So you wanna introduce your song and yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be doing a song called Here on the Waves, and this was written around 3 years ago, and I think it was out of a season of stepping out in faith and trusting God, and something that I guess I've realized increasingly, you know, in my journey with God. It feels as though like the more I know Him, the more I feel like I don't. I'm not sure if like any of you have that feeling before, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost like you are one of the disciples on the boat, right? And like, God, I've seen so much of your miracles. Jesus, you've done so many amazing things, but I've never seen you walk on water, you know. There is always that more.
Right.
And in my own journey, I started to realize that as I said yes to God, and as I've done so many years ago at the altar as a youth, the Lord just kept calling me to come out of the boat for more, you know.
So good.
And in those moments, I start to realize that, man, I don't have the human ability or the emotional capacity to sustain this walk.
Right.
You know, like even saying yes to God. Like, you know, sometimes you see preaching and people who share their testimonies. It's almost like the story of faith is always so powerful, you know. Right. Like people seem to always get it, you know. Like, man, there's so much, like, how do they do it? But as I start to walk in, I realize that it's actually a very painful path. It's actually a path that's very challenging, that we don't have it in ourselves to go that distance. Yeah. So when I wrote this song, it was out of that season of like stepping out in faith, going for missions training, family of 5, financial trust, you know, and all these things, letting go of all these securities and stepping out on the water and being totally like Peter, like, God, I'm sinking, you know. Yeah. I thought, you know, I could do this, but I can't. And Jesus reaches out his hands because like he knows we need him. And I feel like it was never a point of condemnation. Like if we feel like we fail or we feel like, God, I'm too tired, you know, I need a break. The Lord is always so close to us. And he says that if you would trust me, even your own ability to walk this faith journey can come from me. Yeah, so the song is called Here on the
Yeah.
Waves.
Well, I just want to add one quick story, right? So like when you wrote that song and you recorded the song, I remembered, right, it spoke to me quite a bit because it was really, when you released it, oh yeah, it's on Spotify by the way, so y'all can go check it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think when you released it, it was the same day where I had to throw my grandfather's ashes into the sea. Yeah, that was when 2 days after he passed on, right? So he accepted Christ on his deathbed. So when I went down, just hours before he passed on, and told him like, do you want to accept Christ? And with my broken Chinese, right, he accepted Christ and the whole time during the wake, right, there were a lot of doubt. It's like, did he really accept Christ? You're not sure, right? But then we had like random like family friends who were coming to us and say, oh, we saw a vision actually, and he's safe lah. You don't have to worry, and like it was just it's just words of affirmation lah. And it's like the other person who was on the cross as well beside Jesus, and he just said it with his lips that that you will be with me in paradise. When Jesus said that to him, it's like that affirmed me. And when that song was released, right, on that day itself, when we were releasing the ashes, I found out that my grandfather's English name, right, which nobody knew until we saw his old records, was called Peter.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Peter is walking on water towards Jesus right now.
So good.
And the ashes were scattered
In the sea.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, this song is very significant to me as well. Yeah, when you wrote it, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yep, so this is my song, Here on the Waves. And I see the rain starting to fall. What once was bright is now a storm. Your silhouette is in the wind, and I hear you calling out to me. Come walk with me out here on the waves. The calmness you seek is here with me. Get your feet wet, it's here you find rest. I'll hold you close to me. I'll hold you close. And I see your pain and I see your tears. You think I am far, but I am near. We're only a step of faith apart. Come trust me, child, with all of your heart. Come walk with me out here on the waves. The calmness you seek is here with me. Get your feet wet, it's here you find rest. I'll hold you close to me. To me, to me, to me, I hold you closer, closer to me, to me, to me, to me, to me, I hold you closer, closer to me. So let me I wanna come closer into your love. So let me never lose sight of you. Here in this storm, I wanna come closer to you, my God. Oh, come closer. I need you here, right here with me. I'm broken and torn within. You have the words of life that I need. Come breathe your breath in me. That's it. On the waves.
On the waves, on
On
the
the
waves. Yeah. And you have this as a music video as well, right?
Yeah, Josh, he did the music video, so do check it out. So interesting because, I won't spoil it too much, but just really the interplay between us as sons and daughters of God and God being our Father and how he's walking with us on the waves. Yeah, so do check it out.
All right, and so now we have Pris.
Hey.
Please tell us about your song.
So the song I'm gonna sing is called Peace. I think I wrote it in April last year. Yeah, it was during a time where I felt like there was so many things going on in my life. I felt like I think it was during circuit breaker.
Right.
Yeah, so there were just so many things going on in my head, and I didn't know what else to do. I think we were all like trapped at home. So I felt like, oh my God, there's like chaos everywhere. You know, my kid was running around, like trying to do my own things, trying to sing my songs. And my hubby was trying to work. But there's just so many things like going on in my head, and I just needed to like shut it all off.
Yeah.
You know? And at the same time, I think I released something on Instagram. I think I sang a song, and I just posted it up. And somebody that I'm not very close to, she texted me a really long message to say that she had been going through depression, and she was admitted into like IMH, a mental institute, because she was going through so much, and she felt very touched by the song that I had put out at that point, and I felt like I just needed to lock myself in the room and just like sing. Yeah, so out of that moment came this song where I just felt I needed peace in my life because there was so much going on. Yeah, because sometimes you just feel like your heart wants something else, and your mind is telling you something else, you know? So I felt like both parts of me were just at war. Yeah, and I just needed God to ground my thoughts. So out of that came this song, and I wrote it, and then I sent to the friend who texted me, and she broke down crying. You know, she said that this song was exactly what she needed, because she felt like she was going into depression again.
Right.
And I felt like I could borrow her emotions, because I felt every part of her story, everything that she told me about. Like, I felt so burdened by it. For some reason, even though I wasn't close to her, I wasn't going through what she went through. But yeah, so this is my song about peace.
You are my God, sacrificed, glorified, my God, the one who loves and gives to me.
flood around me, the one who paves the way for me. Slowly, your light will shine. When I'm drowning in darkness, your love will comfort me. Peace surround me, shake off the dust. My heart and mind are now at a war. The victory, the crowns I've lost, I'll lay them down for you. Your light will shine. When I'm drowning in darkness, your love will comfort me. Peace surround me. In all I do, in all I see, let your peace surround me. Let your peace surround me. Peace. Peace.
So good. I feel so much love when I listen to it. It's like a very like comforting love. You know, just like yeah. Wow.
I just find it very interesting when, you know, we like you write a song maybe like 2 years or 3 years ago, and it was, for example, about like what Pris was sharing, the lack of peace, the struggle with fear. But when you sing it like right now in this moment, and the tears come, and you're saying like, why am I crying? You know, but the same spirit and the same message behind the song is so relevant even right now, like in your situation.
Yeah.
So in the multitude of your anxieties and the things that like you're walking through, like it feels as though like God is that same God in that moment when the song was written as He is right now.
Yeah.
So I can totally like I wanted to say that just now, you know, like why the tears, you know, like even right now, like in the multitude of like the struggles, you know, God, He is so real. Yeah. So just really want to honor you for sharing your story. Yeah. And I guess for so many people who are like listening now, like I feel like peace is a precious commodity to come by nowadays.
It's true. It's true.
Like we spend a lot of money.
It's there's a cost to it.
There's a cost to it.
Where can I buy it?
Yeah, where can I buy this piece?
Yeah, it's like you try your best, and you know, is it money that's going to give me peace? You know, is it security? Is it like relationships? But somehow we always find that in reaching for these things, like they somehow like don't last. You know, they somehow are like temporal. Yeah, and like if you're watching or listening to this, hey, there's really a God who loves you, and He sees you, and even after this whole world pass away, like He will still be there.
So Cyril, what do you think? of the song so far?
Put on the spot.
I mean, the songs that you guys wrote, they are unique in their own ways. And I think a lot of times we think like, okay, there's only one way to write a song of worship. But whatever you write, because the Bible says like whatever you do it heartily unto God. And your song is worship unto God. It doesn't matter what kind of genre. The genre is worship.
Yeah.
Period. Like, yeah, because I think worship is beyond tangible. And I think it just, of course, I don't know, we probably didn't plan this, but you sung Daily and then Here on the Ways and Peace. And then the song later we're going to do is God You Reign. It's just so aligned, and I think it's godly strategized and orchestrated, because like daily you need the presence of God daily. And then why? Because you know, whenever you face with trials and tribulations, you know, you need God here in ways. You know, we describe that feeling of like troubles on the ways, right? Symbolically, and then you asking God for peace, and then me asking God to reign. And you know, reign. Yeah, and maybe the bridge might sum up all our songs because it talks about He declaring peace over storm, joy now let it overflow, life rise up from the ashes. And I think, yeah, we surf. You know, when we're all connected to God, then we're all connected to His heart. And then we'll be probably like writing songs that God wants to speak. Actually, it's not just us wanting to write a song for God. Sometimes it's God wanting to write a song for us, to sing over our victories. And that's why He put a new song in David's mouth, you know, for us to sing victories over our trials in our tribulations. So I'm really blessed. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah. So for those people who, you know, for the benefit of the viewers out there, you know, can you tell us like how did Cyril come to be Cyril? You know, I mean, aside from like, you know, the music and everything, how did Cyril become Cyril?
My mom and dad joined together.
Right. Oh, I never knew that. I thought we were formed from dust.
So
No,
the,
I was kidding.
so the word is joined.
Joy.
That's a very Christian.
It's safe. It's safe.
It's safe, yeah. PG-13.
Yeah.
PG-13, yeah. How? I don't know. Just many pains and many tests, many, I think many series, basically one word, life. And I think for me, how I became, or where I became where I am today, is because of God foremost, and because of the people, you know, that He placed around me, like you guys, and you know, the people behind the scenes like Nat and stuff. Yeah, I mean, every relationship is so important. And honestly, you know, if someone were to ask me to describe myself, I'm just being me. And the reason why I want to keep it simple is because I don't really know how to describe everything about my life in a few seconds. And I think a song can.
Wow.
Like, that's why you guys write a song. But even write songs, but even a song only describe maybe a moment or season in your life. So the Cyril is, for me, I think foremost is one that really desires to chase after the heart of God. And that I will definitely fail over time. I mean, you know, when you go through seasons in life, you like, all right, I thought I passed the test, but no, I actually didn't pass the test. I have to go greater, you know, in the trust, you know, and like whatever, finances, relationships, dreams that were buried that God said that he will call them into existence. Like he raised the dead as long as he can. He raised the dead just as how he raised Jesus Christ from the dead. He can raise our dead dreams and even anything that you deem as dead. So, yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's how I became where I am today.
Right. Wow. And what would you say, like, if for people who want to know more about you and like what you do, can you tell us more about that and how we can find you as well?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram. It's Cyril, Cyril Julient. And so, like, what I do, I actually, I founded Jen. And I think God, I like to say, and I love to say that it's not my vision, but God's vision for the ministry. And Jen is literally like similar to Fireplace, is a community where we want to house, empower, equip, and release people into their callings. And I really believe that, like this, what I do is not just for myself, is not to glorify myself, but at the end of the day, everything that I do, I can point people back to Jesus. That is my life goal.
Okay, I have one question, right? So, like, what is your definition of calling? Because I think there's of course, like in a nutshell, it's a huge topic, right? It's but like in a nutshell, like, what would you say a calling of someone? What is it about? Like, especially like people who are questioning, like, oh, I can do stuff like pottery. I can do flower arrangement.
Right.
Is that my calling? What is it about? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I think calling is purpose. And let's talk about creative expressions. Pottery, writing songs, doing graphics, like the purpose of all these gifts that God has placed in our lives is, for one thing, is to direct people back to Jesus Christ. And so the call in your life could be, if you're called to be a mother, that's your calling. If you're called to be a teacher, that's your calling. Like, you can impact maybe that classroom full of like 40 students, or maybe if you teach more than 3 classes, that's 120 students, and that's your calling. I mean, a lot of people try to define calling as like, I need to be on a platform. A platform is your life. I think the greatest testimony or the greatest sermon or message that you can ever preach is a transformed life. Not songs, not expressions, nothing. Is a life that is transformed by Jesus Christ, and that is the purpose. And that from that purpose, then you'll start to find like, okay, I think I'm good at this, and I think this is my calling, maybe this season or maybe the rest of my life. Yeah. So callings I feel, for me, my personal definition of calling is pointing people back to Jesus.
I've got one question to add on to that. We all know that when you step out to pursue God's calling for your life, it's definitely going to be hard.
Yeah.
And, in our conversations, we hung out lunches and all that, like the situations are so real, But if you were to describe just one thing that drives you to stick to it, no matter the price, no matter the challenges, what would that one thing be in this pursuit of that calling that God has given you?
Obedience. I'm able to say that quickly because that is my motto in life or vision. Because I think when Jesus went to the cross, he actually said, Father, would you let this cup pass from me? But he also said, not my will, but yours be done. So literally obedience. Because if God says, today I want you to stop doing Jen, okay. Because I have to live a life that is not my own, because God sent his only son to pay the full and greatest and ultimate price for our life. And so in a sense, like, it's always a conflict, because there is the flesh side and there is a spirit side where you you've been raised with Christ, you know, like there is a new you and you're a new creation in Christ. But then you still struggle because, you know, we're not in heaven yet. And that is why I said that obedience is the key, because, and like if you take David, for example, he killed people. He committed adultery. But why did God still call him a man after his own heart? So that just provokes curiosity. Like, why would, you know, like, you know, God is a holy God, but yet he says that you're a man after my own heart, even though like David sinned. And so to me, as long as you are obedient, no matter how much you fail, we already know that Jesus Christ has paid the price for our past, present, and future sin. That we can fail and struggle, that we know that God will always come to our rescue. And if you can stay obedient, I believe that, God, you know, will bring you through the valley of the shadow of death. He will bring you in mountains and before kings. Even if you're in the fire, like, you know, the song that she sang earlier, God will still be there and you will not be burnt. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I feel like I have a question for like all of us, right? Is you know, in our generation where we are talking about like people fighting for rights, you know, and I'm hearing what you're saying about, you know, obedience is almost like having no rights, you know, and that question comes to my mind, like, how does obedience look like for our generation and the generations to come?
You know, that's a huge question. Yeah, because I think it was a question all the way from the beginning of time with Adam and Eve. There wasn't just one tree in the whole garden, there were many trees. And so the ability to choose was given to man. So only with the ability to choose can you really exercise true devotion towards God. Because if you couldn't choose, then you know, you're a robot, right? Yeah, but here we are, you know, in this world, and you were just talking about obedience. And I think like a huge part is thinking about like what is our relationship as a human being like to God.
Right.
Is this a democracy? You know, do we get to all like raise our hands and like decide whatever that I want to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm sure God's going to accept me or accept what I do. Right? Because in a democracy, I mean, as in a way that we will understand it in the Western world, like we all get our say. And I think to a certain extent, like we have that free will and we can choose. But yet as we journey in maturity in our relationship with God, we start to realize that actually God and what he's doing, he's actually running a kingdom. And it's a very different like perspective.
Right.
Yeah, where in this kingdom there is a king.
Yeah.
And the king's word is the final say.
Right.
So then like you can ask me then, if he's king, then now doesn't mean I can't choose anymore. No, you can still choose, right? But this time you choose out of a heart of devotion and out of a heart of love.
So good.
Because God never forced you to choose him. But you chose him because you loved your king.
Yeah.
And I think that the maturity in our faith with God, in our journey with God, is understanding this, that he is king, but he doesn't force us. But we get to choose him and to obey him wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Wow. What a good segue into this song right here. Oh my. You just float all the way there.
Amen.
Hi guys.
So
He's more excited than me.
Yeah. Instead of hi guys. It's great.
Hello.
It's great to be here.
Yes, and would you like to introduce?
I'll just introduce myself then.
Yes.
I'm actually playing keys, for today, for Cyril. And I think it was so amazing just watching you guys.
Wait, what's your name?
I'm Jing,
Jing,
but you call me
okay.
Jin. Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
Jin,
that's
alright,
fine.
okay.
If that's easier.
Alright.
Yeah, so I was just enjoying that awesome worship session that you guys had. So I'm glad to finally be in it. Yeah. So
thanks, man.
that's my little.
Yeah, and you shared a little bit about being a DJ as well.
Oh yes.
You DJ a little bit.
I do a lot of things, but thank God I also am able to spin and DJ.
Okay.
Basically, bring the rave into the praise. Yeah, because because I'm a big believer of that. Because I
He loves
totally
praise songs a lot.
Yes, I love my praise songs.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit bummed that today no praise, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just enjoying it.
And yeah, would you like to share a little bit about your song, and then
Yeah.
you can go into it. Oh, you can share a lot. I mean, the stage is yours.
No, it's, yeah. So God You Reign was written 2 years ago. Of course, because of like another heartbreak. Like COVID happened and I had to stop. In a sense, I had to come home to Singapore to, because my parents wanted me back. And I was like, okay, God, you send me to, Sydney, to Hillsong College to learn and to study and, like the new relationships, and then why the sudden shift always.
Yeah.
But like earlier we were talking about obedience, and that's the main reason why I wrote God You Reign. Like, like the obedience that you have to live. Sometimes it's painful because our human minds can't understand the ultimate plan of God. He always says, in Corinthians, if I'm not wrong, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what the Lord has prepared for all of us. And so that is one of the reasons why I wrote the song. And of course, because I was actually stuck in a house because of stay home notice. So it was like 14 days you can't even go out, and it was like, oh gosh. And then every day, like you're just getting calls to make sure you're at home. And I was like, God,
The video calls, right?
Yeah, video
I got
calls,
the
like,
same
are
thing
you
too.
at home? Are you in your
Yeah.
residence? And I was like, gosh, like it's so stuck, and all you can do is face the four walls of the house. And I was like, God, I need a song. I need to prophesy. I need to prophesy, your word over my life. And I remember, like how he got one of the prophets, I can't remember the name now, but to lie on his side for many hundreds of days for the victory of Israel. And I was like, all right, God, give me something like that too. And he said, why don't you stand on my word? So I literally took the Bible and stand literally on it. Stand on your word. And I sang out this bridge.
Right.
You're declaring over me peace over the storm. Joy now, let it overflow. Life rise up from the ashes. And usually sometimes, actually most of the songs, we always sing it to God.
Right.
But like just now, here on the waves, that there are certain segments of the song, it was God singing to us.
Yeah.
And so the bridge, I wanted it to be God declaring over us,
Wow.
his word, because whatever goes out from his mouth will not go back to him void. And so that's why, that's how actually the song started. In the song, from there, we go to the verse and the chorus. Yeah.
Wow. I think the prophet was Ezekiel, I think. Was it Ezekiel?
Yes,
Right,
Ezekiel.
right.
Yeah. Who lied on the
Awesome.
side.
It's an odd man. It's an odd man.
Too many Bible characters in the Bible.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, so this is God You Reign. Let's worship together.
All right.
You knew me before the world began. You called me by name, marked me with grace. From start to end, my confidence remains in you alone, for your love will never change. Your ways are higher, your thoughts are wiser. There's nothing greater than your plans. Your word is final, you unrivaled. There's nothing that can stand against God, you reign. God, you reign. Victorious over all. You're sovereign still through it all. God, you reign forevermore. Yes, you do, Jesus. You know my needs before I even ask. When all else fails, you provide a way. Through the promise and the pain, you stay the same. So come what may, I won't be afraid. Your ways are higher, your thoughts are wiser. There's nothing greater than your plans. Your word is final, you unrivaled. There's nothing that can stand against. God, you reign. God, you reign. Victorious over all. You're sovereign still through it all. God, you reign forevermore. Come rule and reign, Jesus. You're declaring over me peace over the storm, joy. Now let it overflow. Life rise up from the ashes. You're declaring over me peace over the storm, joy. Now let it overflow. Life rise up from the ashes. You're declaring over me peace over the storm, joy. Now let it overflow. Life rise up from the ashes. You're declaring over me peace over the storm, joy. Now let it overflow. Life rise up from the ashes. God, you reign. God, you reign. Victorious over all. You're sovereign still through it all. God, you reign forevermore. Yes, you do.
All right. I love it. I love it. So good.
Like you kind of
Yeah.
know, like when the song is good,
Yeah.
you forget where you are for
Yeah.
a moment.
It's true.
Like we're all like slipping away somewhere.
Oh my! You know, I was like so into the song, right? My nose keep hitting the mic. Now I'm like shocked. Now I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Oh Lord.
Like that's when you know it's a good song.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I'm somewhere else now.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Praise
Crazy
God.
Wow. We've been
Like, I think one of the most beautiful things about like today is like witnessing how all these like original songs, like they came from the tapestry of our lives, you know, the story that God has been telling and weaving. So when it actually comes forth, it's so like organic, it's so overflow. Yeah. So just feel like so thankful for each one of you.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe one day we're gonna have that rave praise.
Wow.
Hey.
I mean,
Okay.
because the overflow of Him is celebration.
Yeah.
It's praise. Yeah. So
Definitely.
and
So I guess we've come to the end of our session. And before we end though, let's do some plugs. So maybe, you know, where can we find you again? And we can just repeat that again, and then we'll put the links up for people to find you guys. So maybe we start with Jin first. Yeah.
Okay.
Where can we find that rave, praise
Thank you.
raves?
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
it's on Gen Conference.
Okay.
That's the one and only one so far. Anything more, I think you can just contact me directly. You know, on IG and several social.
So what's
media
your
platforms.
IG?
Oh, I think you it's too long to say it.
Oh,
here,
it's too long to
so
say it, okay.
I'll it's easier
We'll
to
put it in the
yeah,
links, yeah.
it's easier
The links are
downstairs,
below.
Yeah, to
Right.
just link it up.
Okay, and
Yeah.
for Cyril.
All right. Where can you find me? Social media, I guess. Yeah. So it's Cyril Julian with a T at the back. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so we've come to the end of our sessions, our Ember sessions, and we've been through the waves, we've been through a daily walk with God, we've been through the inside and outside of the mind, the war between the heart and the mind, and we ascended all the way to meet our King. So
Amen.
that's the end of our session. We'll see you at the next one. You can check us out on the Fireplace Collective on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And all the links are below, somewhere around. Or if we put it on the screen, I don't know. We'll catch you at the next Ember sessions, and we'll see you again soon. All right? Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Cheers.
So many cameras.
I don't even know how to look.
Yeah.